Consulting case interviews are notoriously difficult to prepare for, so in this video I'll be going through 5 creative and effective preparation tips that will increase your chances of getting that offer, and make sure to stick around for tip 5 as this is something I think not nearly enough people do. Hi, my name's Henry. I'm an incoming BCG consultant, and here at the Consulting Axis our mission is to help you align your future in consulting and beyond. So if that sounds good, then consider subscribing and turning on bell notifications so you don't miss anything. But for now, let's get right into the video. So the first tip is really important, and it is to not forget about the non-case parts of the interview. So a case interview is normally split into 3 parts, and only one of them is the case. The other 2 are questions about you and the Q&A part, and personally I would say these are as important as the case study. So firstly, questions about you are most likely to contain questions like, tell me about yourself, why you, why consulting, why this company, and competency style questions. So make sure you have good solid answers, especially to these sort of questions. I won't go into too much detail now about what makes a good answer, but if you do want me to make a video on that, just let me know in the comments. Then for the Q&A, here you'll want to make sure that you go into your interview with a couple of questions in mind that either show your interest in consulting or in that company specifically, and the key point here is to only ask questions that you are actually interested in knowing the answer to, because this will come over a lot better and far more genuine. Now on to the second preparation technique, which is a way of helping you when it comes to the calculation side of things, and I think this is really important because no matter how good or bad you are at maths, doing it under pressure in front of your interviewer is never easy. I spoke more in depth about this topic in a previous video, so if you do want more information, I'll link that in the comments. But the technique is essentially to get someone to write down 10 or so simple-ish mental maths problems and set a minute timer, and you have to solve them all before the timer runs out. And I know this may sound strange, but I promise you it will help you from stressing so much that you then make more mistakes in your interview. Now on to the third point. So to be able to crack consulting case interviews, you need to do practice consulting case interviews. And before you start saying,
well, that's pretty obvious to me.
So getting someone to give you a mock interview has multiple challenges. How do you find the case studies to do? And how can you actually find someone that is willing to interview you and knows enough about the subject? So in terms of finding case studies, most big consulting firms have practice case studies which you can do on their websites, and these are normally really good because hopefully they'll be a similar style to ones you'll have in your interview, especially at these firms, and I'll link the ones that I found really helpful in the description. So now, how can you find someone to actually interview you? Well, the first thing you should try is to reach out to people that you know that have gone into consulting and ask them if they'd be willing to give you a mock interview. And if you don't know anyone, don't worry about it. So if you're at uni or have been to university, then I'm sure they'll have a consulting society which you can reach out to, because I'm sure there'll be tons of people in that society that will be willing to give you a mock interview as long as you do the same for them. And this brings me very nicely onto my 4th point, and that is to give mock interviews to other people. And luckily from my previous point, you should be able to find someone to give an interview to. But why should you do this?
Well, here's why.
This gives you a completely different perspective on things and allows you to see things from the point of view of the interviewer. This means when the person you're interviewing does something that was good or maybe not so good, you'll be able to spot it easier and then implement it into how you do case studies. And also obviously give this feedback to them afterwards as well, it will really help. Finally, my personal favourite tactic and something that you can implement into your daily life, and this is whenever you see a business do something like offering buy one get one free, or just whenever you see a business really, ask yourselves questions like, why are they doing that? How does this business make money, and how could they maybe make more money by doing certain tactics? Things like that. So let's take you through an actual example. Let's say you've just deposited some money in your bank account. You could ask yourself questions like, how do banks make money? Well, one way they do this is invest the money that you deposit. So that means they would want more money deposited with them. And ways that they could do this, they could potentially offer better interest rates, or offer vouchers to people that keep a certain amount of money deposited with them, and you keep on going like this. Adding this in your daily life will dramatically increase your creative ability, and this is something that is so important in consulting case interviews. So thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It's free and it really does help me out a lot. But for now, best of luck with your consulting case interviews.